Councilmember Daisha Edwards.
Here.
Councilmember Greg Lustig.
Here.
Councilmember Alana Vino has to be excused tonight. Councilmember Chad Edwards.
Here.
Town Attorney Scott Murray has to be excused tonight. Town Engineer Shane Porter.
Here.
Chief of Police Mike Thompson.
Here.
Fire Chief Mark Cornett.
Here.
Public Works Director Dan Corson has to be excused tonight. Town Clerk Janelle Underwood, Rustic Citizens.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, approval of agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Consent agenda. Under that, we have one item, approval of minutes, regular meeting for June 8th, 2026. Do I have a motion?
I so moved. Second.
I have a motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. We will now open this up to public comments, and we have 5 minutes per speaker. Come forward, give your name.
I am Luke Ginsbach, and I have a couple properties on the new Wildcat Road that was been essentially done now, I believe, at this point, and we're just having a lot of problems getting into our entrances and scraping trailers, low-profile cars not being able to get in, semis not being able to get in. It's about a 40-inch incline from the road to one of our entrances in 20 feet, and the other one's about 2 feet. And Shane has some pictures that I emailed to Janelle. And it's just that we have certain trailers we can't even get in and out of our entrances anymore. And scraping vehicles, damaging your road as well. And we would just like to get a resolution for that. I've been chatting with some of the engineers and Janelle over the past couple of months. And some of the entrances have been rebuilt and ours hasn't been messed with at all. So, and our gates are going to be 2 feet plus off the ground. And kind of cause a lot of issues for our lot, you know, when it gets fixed, I believe. So I just wanted everybody to be aware of that and hope we can come to a reasonable solution. I was under the impression that when the road was constructed, everybody's entrances were going to be usable and serviceable for everyone. So I just like to, yeah. Some of it's hard to show in pictures, but I can explain any of them or whatever you guys need. If there's something I can do to help to find a solution. Just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention.
You're obviously aware of all this.
Oh, yeah, we're aware, and we're gonna come up with a solution. I don't know exactly what it is yet. There's several issues. The crown of the road's actually built steeper than it was designed. It's not the whole problem. It doesn't solve the whole problem at all. But it's something, I mean, we run into this a lot when we're taking a narrow dirt road and making it wider, and then we have to meet vertical curves, you know, set criteria in the design. We have to hit that intersection. There's a lot of things that are kind of create the problem for Luke. So, you know, and I want to work with Luke on what the best solution is. We haven't come up with, I mean, we can't tear the road up, and we can't really raise the road because it messes up the intersection, just a lot of things. But whether it's moving his approaches to a better location, adjusting the fence, doing some grading on the lot, you know, I don't know what the final solution is, but we're going to work with Luke on that. Unfortunately, it's not something that happens overnight. I know he's using it daily and it's an inconvenience, or maybe worse than just inconvenience.
While I was typing the first email today, I literally had to pick up the trailer, get stuck in the entrance. The tires are off the ground, tail of the trailer's resting on the road, and it's damaging the road pretty significantly. So I think we need to, I mean, it's a very large inconvenience. We can't get get our semi, we have to go a back way through the mud, and luckily I own 4 lots there, and I have like a different route I can go to, but we've also had a lot of theft issues since the road's been completed, so we've had to block off a lot of stuff too, so.
Hey, Luke, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Looking at your first and third in the last picture, is there a way to possibly maybe take some of the dirt out in the lot?
There
Like a
is
little-
that,
just right, like for instance, just like right in this area,
so
and then on this one, like to bring it down some?
yes, that will certainly
Not to say your
help.
whole lot, but just that.
Yes, ma'am, so that would certainly help. We just have those big pipe entrances there, like 8 yards of concrete backfill, that as soon as we start going down, we're ruining all our gates and pipe entrances, and there's a lot of concrete there, but yes, I think that is the solution.
Cause my thought
It's
was that is if we take a little bit of the dirt out, maybe just in that area.
Yeah.
And then lower the gate, if it's on like a swinging thing, like lower the gate so there
It's-
isn't a.
Yes, ma'am, I believe that is the solution. I was just hoping that, I was under the impression kind of when the road was built, we wouldn't have to rebuild our own lots, and I was under the understanding that Evansville was gonna do something to keep all our lots accessible. We're just waiting for a similar solution to, I believe, what you're saying. I think that's our only option at this point. It's just,
I don't know, I'm just
yeah.
thinking on the
No, that's
fly. I
exactly
don't
what
know
we need to do.
You and, it would change thinking of
Yeah,
it.
and we've started doing that on one, but now our gates are 2 feet off the ground and we still can't get in there, so.
Are you aware of other property owners in the area with the
Yes,
same problem?
Brutal Construction right across the street from one of mine can no longer get semis in his entrance.
His is a different issue.
His is a gas
Different.
line
We've
issue.
gotta, we now have, in order to make his approach usable, we have to lower our gas line.
And they were warned before it went in too, and they, the appliance place, High Center semis on their new approach. The storage units, I believe, cannot get low profile cars into theirs. And there's
Okay, so it's not
it's
isolated.
not isolated to just mine. I believe there's 5. Bridger Steel looks pretty rough too, as far as the breakover angle of theirs. I'm not sure. I don't know them or know what their situation is, but there's a lot of very abrupt change in angles from the road to the entrance back to the lots.
Thank you.
I guess again, I mean, we've got a problem that we'll work toward a fix on these lots, but again, this happens all the time when you come in and retrofit a new road in. Because when all these buildings were built, and typically the road goes in first. Buildings are built to the grades they need to be to match the road. Well, all these buildings are built however they were. And so it's hard. We've matched some, but not others. I mean, it's hard. You can't do this with the road. So it's a problem that we need to get addressed, and it's going to take working with Luke to come up with the best solution for his lots. Where I anticipate probably having to get on and do some survey on his lots and probably figure out where things need to go to make it work. So.
Thank you for
Thank you.
bringing that to us.
Thank you.
Are there any more public comments?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. My name's Zeta Salin, and I'm running for House District 62 here in Evansville and Glen Rock. I wanted to come down this evening to introduce myself, and there's a lot of people in the room that I do know, but I don't know everyone. Just get to know everyone. Thank you.
Thank you for coming down and introducing yourself.
Thank you.
Is there any more public comments?
Phil Gerke, and I live on Eagle Trail. Can I bring these up to you guys?
Sure.
Some paperwork? I've got a few extra ones here, I'll just give the John if somebody needs them. I will go through this as fast as I can to stay under the 5 minutes. Just one note before this has to do with the water rate increases and the sewer and whatnot, but we've also got the final vote coming up tonight on the penalties for water violations if you put the restrictions on. And I guess the only thing there is, it kind of seems like there ought to be some penalties spelled out in there. Because they gotta come from someplace, and I think that, I know what the idea of it is if you need to put the restrictions in, you can just pass a resolution and you're off and running, but then you would have to put the penalties in the resolution, and that seems a little bit heavy-handed to just do that all at one time. Does that make sense?
I think the intent was just, judge would set the fines, because the fine's a misdemeanor, so it's anything up to $750.
Right.
So it doesn't have to be specifically set for each offense.
Okay, all right. You know, so however you guys wanna handle it, it was just a suggestion. Anyway, we were supposed to have some figures on why we needed the rate increase, and I didn't see them. So, I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't have those this time, but anyway, I went clear back to 2022 and 23, and I used the amended budgets, because that's what was available on the website. And anyway, there was only 1 year that we actually had a net loss, and that was in 2024-25. We lost $83,128. If I'm using the right figures, and I'm just assuming that I am. This year, I didn't know if in the budget, if that rate increase is in the budget, or if it's not. Is it in there?
It is.
Okay. So anyway, it's kind of weird because you raised water rates. If you're raising water rates, and then last year you had $974,000 in income from water charges, and then it went, if you got a rate increase, then it's going to go down to $750. Seems kind of weird, but anyway, so that seemed a little bit strange. And then the water fill station, it just shows an increase of 5.5%, and you guys are supposedly doing 10. The sanitation charges, it appears that they're only going up 3.3%. And anyway, the total, even with the interest in there, is only 6.2. That's between the budget and the amended budget from last year, or from 2025-26. And based on the information I have, I think my figures are pretty accurate. Okay. Anyway, I made a call to Casper, and then I did, on the very last page, I had to do some conversion because they do theirs a little different than we do ours. Their water rate is 11.5 cents on the first 2,000. And we are at 7.16 on the first 2,000. On the all our subsequent are at 5.43, and we're at 3.58. You know, so we are under there. The wastewater, they're at 1812, we're at 1347. And then that's on the first 2,000. After that, it goes up to the Casper's at 1472, we're at 1347. Sanitation, they're at 3265, and we're at 2355. And I just took this off my bill. Anyway, my suggestion is that you leave the water rates alone for right now. And just because I think from listening to the mayor last time, he was concerned about the sanitation part of it, I think. And you could raise that to a $29.39, and you could raise the wastewater up to $16.30 per 2,000, which would be, and so anyway, it'd be basically an increase on people's bill of $10.43. Be exactly a 10% rate increase. And it just seems to me that maybe a little bit more thought needs to be put into this rather than just picking a figure out of the sky someplace. And like I say, maybe the figures are there someplace to show that a rate increase absolutely needs to be made. But to be honest about it, I didn't see it. You know, because it's, you know, and it's like, we're projected to have a carry forward of over $3 million at the end of 26, 27. So, you know, it's not that it's going down. But the wastewater and the sanitation are pretty close to locking in. I mean, everybody's gonna have sewer charges and everybody's gonna have to pay for sanitation charges, but water, I mean, depends on how many showers you take every week, and I probably don't want to discourage anybody from taking a shower, so. But, and then just how much water they use taking care of their yard. And I mean, I understand, and we, with inflation and stuff going on, that probably maybe some changes gotta be made, but I think for the public, that I think if everything's out there and spelled out in dollars and cents, that they'll understand. And lastly, I'm sure my time's probably up.
Yeah.
Lastly, I would just do it all in one shot and be done with it. And that's just kind of where I'm at. I think especially taking everything off till the 1st of January, the new incoming council and stuff, because there's gonna be 3 new council members. You know, to shove that off and have that their very first day, a rate increase, I don't know if that's quite fair. That's just my thoughts.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Questions?
Stuckey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any more public comments? Is there any more public comments? There's no more public comments. Public comments are closed. We will now open this up for a public hearing on the petition to rezone Lot 5 in Coal Creek Industrial Park. Jeanette?
I'm gonna turn this over to Town Engineer Shane Porter. He's got a staff report to provide.
Got a couple bigger maps that you guys can look at, just so you know exactly where we're at. But, so I'll give the staff report. This is a public hearing to consider the petition to rezone Lot 5 of the Coal Creek Industrial Park, which is 6740 Northern Court, from heavy industrial to urban ag. The owner applicant is Rodney and Julie Live, and they are here tonight if you have questions for them. So the background, Rodney and Julie Live are the owners of Lot 5 of the Coal Creek Industrial Park. The owners have submitted a petition to the town of Evansville to rezone Lot 5 from its existing zoning district of heavy industrial to urban ag. The purpose of the zone change is to allow uses consistent with the urban ag zoning. The owners plan to construct a single-family residential dwelling on the lot. The lot will be accessed from and readdressed off Mystery Bridge Road on the other side of the lot. So per the zoning ordinances, the owners of interest of the property to be rezoned shall submit a petition requesting amendment of the zoning district map to the planning department. And then the staff shall verify that the petition contains the following information: legal description of the property to be rezoned, existing and proposed zoning districts applicable to the property, and signatures of the owner. And all of that has been provided. From there, the zoning ordinance requires the planning department to verify the completeness of the petition and forward the petition to the Planning and Zoning Commission for review. We had a Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on June 11th, a couple of weeks ago. The petition to rezone the urban ag was initiated by Rodney and Julie Live. Legal description of the property was provided. As required by section 10.4 of the zoning ordinance, a notice of the public hearing was published in the Casper Star Tribune on May 23rd, 2026 and May 30th, 2026. The notice of the public hearing was mailed to all property owners within 300 feet of the subject property on May 22nd, 2026. And then notice of the public hearing was also posted on the subject property on May 26, 2026, and that posting currently remains on the property. So the surrounding use to the west and the north of the subject property is located within Natrona County and is zoned suburban residential. The county suburban residential is similar and compatible with the proposed town of Evansville urban ag zoning. The urban ag zoning was created by the town of Evansville specifically for that type of use. So it's in the Brookhurst area. The existing heavy industrial to the south and to the east will remain and is compatible with the uses in that surrounding area. No restrictions will be placed on the heavy industrial that will now be adjacent to the residential lot. It will be grandfathered in. I mean, the owners of the lot know that that's heavy industrial adjacent now, so we wouldn't place any additional restrictions on that heavy industrial zoning adjacent to it. So, and I guess what I'm getting at is the heavy industrial zoning does require like opaque fencing when it's adjacent to residential or noise control or whatever. But since the heavy industrial was there first, we're not gonna now put additional restrictions on the adjoining lots. So at the June 11th, 2026 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, the commission forwarded a due pass recommendation to the town council to adopt what will be ordinance 10-2026, approving the rezone of lot 5 of the Coal Creek Industrial Park from heavy industrial to urban ag. And staff recommends that the town council approve ordinance 10-2026 to rezone that lot 5 from heavy industrial to urban ag. So open any questions you have, as well as the owners are here if you have questions for them.
Anyone have any questions regarding this?
I would just ask that you would open a public hearing to take any comments for or against this zone change.
Okay. We would open this up at this point for public comments for or against the rezoning. Are there any comments for or against? You don't have any more to add, do you?
Nope, you can just close the public hearing and then it's actually agenda, item 10 on the agenda down the road a ways here,
That's all that.
or 11, I guess.
So we'll come back to this. Okay, if there's no more comments on this, public hearing for the rezoning is closed. Next item, approval of Public Safety Communication Center agreement. Do I have a motion on it? Or
Would you like me to make any comments on it? So what it is it's a Public Safety Communications Center User Agency Advisory Committee Agreement. It's brought before you tonight for the mayor to execute. This is an agreement that would be entered into effective July 1, 2026 until June 30th, 2031. And Chief Thompson has been working with the members of the the Public Safety Commission as well as our town attorney, and I think they're satisfied with that agreement. I would just ask for authorization for the mayor to execute.
So do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion for the mayor to execute.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion now? Do you have anything to add, Chief? If there's no discussion on this, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Next item, ordinance number 4-2026, visionary franchise agreement.
Mr. Mayor, this ordinance 4-2026, the visionary franchise agreement was tabled at the May 11th, 2026 council meeting. And I would ask that a motion and second be made to remove that from the table.
Do I have that motion?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this? All those in favor of taking this off of table?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
So, Mr. Mayor and Council, brought before you tonight is ordinance 4-2026. This is a visionary franchise agreement that is being presented tonight on first reading. I will tell you that myself, Town Attorney Scott Murray, Council President Daisha Edwards, Town Engineer Shane Porter, and Public Works Director Dan Corson all met with visionary representatives on June 12th. And we expressed our concerns, and they provide us with information as to their efforts to make everything correct. And I'm not sure if anybody else has any comments on it.
So, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I did have the pleasure of sitting in on that meeting and definitely voicing some concerns, and it was great to speak with the visionary team, a large team, and also the guys that are local in our area, and able to let them know what things were concerns, things that were happening, and what their plan was moving forward, and how we go about that if we do have future instances for the residents, and we have a path looking forward to go with that. They came with lots of answers. There was no, after leaving that meeting, I was very secure with what we came up with as far as how to fix the issues and different things that were coming up with residents for their properties, to continue to maintain their properties and keep them in the best shape. So I thank the visionary guys for coming and having the meeting with us. It was awesome.
So in a nutshell, they agreed to take care of all of our concerns, and this won't be happening down the road.
Yes.
There are a couple visionary representatives here tonight too,
Yes.
to answer questions you guys have. I would copy agree with what was stated from Dacia. I'm very comfortable with their plan moving forward on taking care of the problems out there. They've got a team of a contractor right now that's progressing from start to finish, trying to, go through drive every area, look at every lot, make sure sprinklers are addressed or landscaping. They might miss one because they didn't see it, but they're, made themselves readily available if they know there's a problem to come fix it, so.
Just have one quick question. Who are we supposed to call if we have work that needs to be done? Do we call the town of Evansville, or do we call Visionary?
Cool.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? If not, moving forward, do I have a motion to approve on first reading the visionary franchise agreement?
All motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this now? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Okay. Next item, ordinance number 5-2026, fiscal year 2025-26 budget amendment. Third and final reading.
Mr. Mayor and Council, brought before you tonight is ordinance 5-2026. This is an ordinance providing for the amendment of the annual budget for the town of Evansville, Wyoming from July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. Section 1, the following sums of money are anticipated as revenue for the general fund, enterprise fund, capital improvement fund, debt service trust, and agency fund, June 30th, 2026. The grand total is $5,154,609. Enterprise grand total is $1,885,184. Capital improvement fund grand total is $4,681,094. Section 2, there is hereby appropriated for expenditures from the general fund. The grand total is $5,260,599. Section 3, there is hereby appropriated for expenditures from the enterprise fund. The grand total is $1,854,947. Section 4, there is hereby appropriated for expenditures from the capital fund. The grand total is $5,201,100, and it is brought before you tonight on third and final reading.
Do I have a motion on this?
So moved.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Next item, ordinance 6-2026, fiscal year 2026-27 budget, third and final. Janelle?
Mr. Mayor and Council, brought before you tonight is ordinance 6-2026. This is an ordinance appropriating an amount of money necessary to defray all expenses and liabilities of the town of Evansville for the fiscal year of July 1, 2026 through June 30th, 2027. Section 1, the following sums of money are anticipated as revenue for the general fund, capital improvement fund, debt service fund, and trust agency fund, June 30th, 2027. General fund, the grand total is $5,412,707. Enterprise fund grand total is $2,002,265. Capital improvement fund grand total is $4,280,000. Section 2, Section 2, there is hereby appropriated for expenditures from the general fund. The grand total is $5,231,699. Section 3, there is hereby appropriated for expenditures from the enterprise fund. The grand total is $1,899,199. Section 4, there is hereby appropriated for expenditures from the capital fund. The grand total is $4,442,000. It's brought before you tonight in third and final reading.
Do I have a motion on this?
All motion?
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Next item, ordinance number 7/2026, an ordinance to amend water rates. Third and final.
Mr. Mayor and Council, brought before you tonight is ordinance 7-2026. This is an ordinance to amend the water rates. The amendment for these water rates would be a 5% increase that would go into effect July 1 of 2026, and then an additional 5% increase effective January 1, 2027. It's brought before you tonight on third and final reading.
Do I have a motion on this ordinance?
I move.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I will say, I heard Phil's proposal of just updating the other rates. Looks like we're well under Casper's current rate, and I would like to keep it even by spreading it out. We're still well under, and we're sharing that across the different, through water, wastewater, and sanitation. Our rates are still very affordable, so very cheap, and I like spreading it out rather than jumping the water and sanitation up higher.
And along with that, this is the first water increase we've had in 3 years. So I think we're being pretty fair there.
Yeah, after sitting in the Region 4 water meeting that I sat in, we were definitely in the red on that meeting. We were lower than a different city here in Wyoming, in Casper, but we needed this increase.
I'd like to throw something else out, and Councilwoman, you might be able to elaborate on that. But also in that meeting, they mentioned how our water rates will adjust our future grant opportunities and other money that we can get the state to share some of our costs. That's a major factor the state's going to start looking at from here forward. So by not raising those rates, it could be detrimental to us in that area, as well as the fact, if I recall, specifically for water and things like that, we need to put in the tiered structure. So there must be additional charges for the higher users. Another one is that we must make more money than we spend and start putting money in the bank to help pay for these expenditures. That is something in the budget that I know we are very close on. Anybody that watched our budget session, I think our enterprise side we were 36,000 under over that entire $2 million budget. So we were very, very close. So there is not a lot of money going in towards the savings, which also could be detrimental to us. So just some things that help the citizens understand some of the justification here.
Very good point. Thank you. Any more discussion on this? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Next item, ordinance 8-2026, ordinance to amend sewer rates. Third and final, you know?
Mr. Mayor and Council, brought before you tonight is ordinance 8-2026. This is an ordinance to amend the sewer rates. The rate increase would take effect of, to 5% increase effective July 1 of 2026. And then an additional 5% increase would take effect January 1 of 2027. And this is brought before you tonight on third and final reading.
Do I have a motion on this ordinance?
I'll motion.
I second.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion on this one? If no discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Yeah, the next item, ordinance 9-2026, an ordinance to amend sanitation rates, third and final.
Mr. Mayor and Council, brought before you tonight is ordinance 9-2026. This is an ordinance to amend the sanitation rates. The rate increase would take effect July 1 of 2026 at 5% with an additional 5% increase taken effect January 1 of 2027. And it's brought before you tonight on third and final reading.
Do I have a motion on this ordinance?
So
I move.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Not all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Okay, next ordinance, 10-2026. Janelle?
Mr. Mayor and Council, brought before you tonight is ordinance 10-2026. This is an ordinance approving the rezone of Lot 5 of the Coal Creek Industrial Park from heavy industrial to urban agriculture, town of Evansville, Wyoming. This is the zone change request that Engineer Porter had reported on, and we had a public hearing on. It's brought before you tonight on first reading.
Do I have a motion on this ordinance?
I move.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay. No further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Next item, approval of general government and fire department pay structure 2026.
Mr. Mayor and Council, brought before you tonight is a proposed 2026 step plan for fire and a 2026 step plan for general government employees. It's an increase in the wages from the 2023 pay structure, and it is brought before you tonight for approval.
Do I have a motion on this?
Motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Excuse me. No discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Next item, engineers report. Shane, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. So a couple things I have tonight are on the phase 2 of the Mesa project. So last council meeting, you issued the notice of award to Andrew Hunt Construction for that phase 2. They have provided back signed contracts and a copy of the joint account agreement. So before you tonight is approval of the agreement between the town of Evansville and Andrew Hunt Construction for the Wildcat number 2 in the infrastructure project, Mesa phase 2, in the amount of $4,142,046 even. And then also the joint account agreement. Those are agreements that contractors have the per state statute. They have the option to set up a joint account where the retainage gets placed in. And then it's so the town places the retainage in the account, the town's an account holder, and the contractor's an account holder, and it just stays there until the town allows it to be released. It allows, what ends up happening is it earns interest on a big job like this. They take that opportunity to earn interest on that, and it's just set aside in a separate account. So anyway, recommend a motion to approve the agreement with Andrew Hunt Construction and the joint account agreement.
Motion for this approval.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
That's all I have tonight.
Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the engineer's report?
So moved.
I'll second.
Have a motion second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
I move.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. We are adjourned at 7:40 PM.